Hey everybody, welcome into Rock Painting 101, where we give you fun, new rock painting ideas that anybody can create. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you do, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get painting. So if you follow the channel, a few weeks ago we did this rock. I just sealed it and it looks so pretty sealed, and I really love the way that we did this blending technique. And I wanted to see if I was able to do it in a hand lettering style with these thin pens and still be able to blend the colors even though it wasn't a single line. So this isn't sealed yet, but you can tell the difference when you seal them. I love it. Anyways, so I did this stone as a practice stone, and I was able to get these to really kind of blend between the pens, even doing a thicker, more hand letter styled rock. So we are going to do one along this sort of design. I'm going to make this one say you rock on it, so we can kind of compare with the singular letter lines or the simple lettering style, and then we'll do one with this more fancy style. Either one, when you see it broken down, you can do, even if you don't have a lot of experience. These paint pens are very user friendly, and I just realized I had the lid off one over here. Just never, you want to try to put your lids back on them when you're not using them so they don't dry out. So I've got the same three colors that we used last time: yellow, blue, and pink. That's what's on this rock back here and this rock back here. These are just the ones that come in your standard extra fine tip pack. These are the 1M Posca paint pens. If you are looking for supplies, I got this rock up on the website, so there's a supply section where you can see stuff that I use for the rocks as well. Singer Rocks loves your rocks. Thank you. Well, feel free to share this tutorial while we're live or when it's done into your rock painting kind of groups across Facebook. It's good inspiration for beginners. And I know there's a lot of members in those groups often that don't paint. They joined because they found a rock and maybe they think they can't do pretty rocks. I'm going to prop this up so people can see it as they join in. So again, we're just going to go ahead and get started. I'm using a slightly different technique as far as how I'm laying these letters on, since we have to thicken up a lot of the lines. I don't blend right away on the stones. So again, I'm going to write you rock. So I'm going to start with the word rock. Hopefully you guys can see as I'm laying this down a little better from this angle. So I'm going to just start by laying out my letters. So we'll do the line down for the R. We'll curl out and around, and then I think I'll start my fade into my next color on the line going down. So what I'm going to do is just leave a slight gap. Make sure your pens are cleaned off here. I'm going to leave a slight gap because I am going to come back and blend these two colors together. So I'm just going to skip forward because it would kind of bounce out and around. So I'm just going to draw in the air for a moment, and then I'm just going to have it go down. And then an O, maybe come to about there, maybe a little further. Let's just go ahead and see. The thing is, since we're going to thicken it up, you're really going to end up having wider lines everywhere, so we can go on top of them. So see, this would kind of come up and over through the blend. So we're just going to not attach the letters all the way together. And then, okay, I'm going to blend all the way back to my blue. So I think that will be fun. I had the edges blend out on this one to the opposite color since it was only 3 letters. 3 letters is a little bit easier as far as laying out to know that you're going to get everybody, all the colors on there equally. All right, so now that we've got our letters on here, this is going to actually connect right here. Boop. We are going to thicken up a few of our lines and then we'll start our blending. I just threw my pen here. So we're going to thicken up our downward lines mostly here. So on my R, we're going to come up and around, and this is going to get nice and thick here as it comes down. just gonna fill that in. And then this line here, because it's down, will be thicker, just like that. Okay, now I'm gonna thicken up my yellow line, and then we're gonna do our blending. Just because it's easier, you can go over where you've painted already. Since this is down, a lot of this might turn green, which is fine because we have the whole O, that's yellow. So the trick is basically the color you want it to change back to is the pen that you add the ink to. So I'm gonna put the blue on top of the yellow because I'm gonna start at the blue and work into the yellow. So just a little dab, dab, dab on the tip. It really doesn't take that much. And then I'm gonna go right on here, starting on the blue, and I'm gonna go wide first, and then kind of work my way into my yellow. Working the width of the letter the entire time as I come down so that it fades evenly. Okay, now if you think, I feel like I want that to fade a little bit better, I'm gonna go and actually do one dot on my blue, and then I will work that back up. Same thing, I'm working like across, you can see that good? I'm working like across that letter so that it fades evenly, even though it's a width. So see the R, how it kind of blends together. Now, I'm not gonna bring this all the way up. I think it would be a little excessive to do that, I guess you could say. So now I'm going to work on my O. So make sure you got your, all that, you see I kind of, oh, you can't see, I'm just kind of doodling off to make sure I don't have any of that blue left in the tip of my yellow before I get up here. So the downward stroke would be a little bit thicker. There we go. And we can go over the top of this one more time just to kind of make the color a little darker. This is a downward on that curve there. Now this one is up. The down actually is when it would get thicker. So I want it to blend like that. I want that orange in the thicker part because I think it looks pretty. So I'm gonna put my yellow onto my pink, which means yellow is gonna lay first, yellow, orange, and then it's gonna fade into the pink. So we're just gonna go up and over, and then we're gonna work that back down and around. We're gonna do it the width all at once so that it slowly will fade back in to our plain pink. There we go. Still seem like you have a little bit in there. Okay. And again, if we want to pull that pink back into the yellow a little bit now, so I'm going to take my pink, just one little dot on my yellow, and I can follow that curl back onto my yellow until it fades back to yellow. Okay, see how we got that beautiful orange in there? Okay, now we're gonna work on our K. All right, so we've curled up and over, the downward's gonna be thicker, and that's when we're gonna have it transition into our blue. Let's get past this orange spot. Actually have the pink come down a little further. And pink on blue. And come right down. That one blended real fast. And this is I might go back in with some black. I don't like how that looks. Got a little bit thick in some of those areas. And what I'm thinking actually, so the downward stroke here would be first, and then this up and around. So I might add just the littlest bit of pink at the top of that R, just for fun, just to have the pink come all the way over. So I put the pink on the tip of this, and I'm just gonna start right at that tip. I want a little bit more than that. Let's do a little bit more. You can always add more. There we go. Just add that little purple. And there we go. All right, oop. Always be careful to put your correct lids on your correct pens when you're done. I'm actually gonna come in here really quick while you guys are on here live. The best part about doing these on black rocks, like I said, I base coated these with a black acrylic paint, is if you make a big mistake or a little mistake, you can easily come in and fix it. Here's a brush back here. So I'm gonna come in here. I feel like this got away from me in here. This got a little bit. And now, as you can see some of this through. So if you really wanted to, you could go through and do a second coat on the design. It doesn't bother me too much. Sometimes when you see a little bit of the base coat through, I'll probably end up just leaving it as it is. When it dries, I think it looks pretty good. This was just one coat. All right, we need to add the word "you" along the top. And then we'll be finished. Now I've got 3 colors and I've got 3 letters. So I still want to blend them a little bit just because it's fun and it's in the design. So we're going to do a single line, kind of like how we did for this, where it's just one single line. So we will go with the Y, maybe like that. Putting pink onto my yellow. Y. I'm going to put yellow onto my blue back here. Sorry, it's hard for me to put them underneath the camera. So one thing about this angle that makes it a little tricky. And I want to make sure I fade all the way to blue, so I'm actually going to doodle this, a little bit of that off just so I can get to blue here. There we go. So I got all 3 of the colors there to change, transition. Okay, that black paint's almost dry over there. So for that technique, sorry, you kind of have to work with the paint while it's still a little bit wet to get the colors to blend. So if you guys had any questions, I'm not ignoring you. I just honestly can't see them while I'm painting. I always come back through and read through the comments and the questions after the fact. So there we go. That one is finished. What did I do with my black paint? Put my lid on my black paint here. So I hope you guys give this a try. It's a fun way to make these word rocks. I mean, that's so pretty. And I don't know how long we've been live here. Oh, 15 minutes or so. And I was chit-chatting at the beginning, so probably 10-minute rock, you know. So, and even with the pretty hand lettering, you can go back and add the dots around if you want to. Like on the empty space on this one, I went through and added a bunch of dots. Just to kind of bring some more color, and you could blend the tips so that the dots are all the different colors as well. And you know what? I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that on this rock though, because that K still has that wet spot and that makes me a little bit nervous. I don't want to accidentally put my hand on it. So I'm going to start with the straight blue and I'm just going to start adding a few dots around here. And then I'm going to take and put the blue onto the pink. We'll work our way through the whole thing. So blue onto pink. So that we'll get some of the kind of purplish dots on here. And then some pink dots. And then I'm gonna do pink onto yellow. So then we get some of these kind of pink and orange colored dots around. I'm going to keep going till I see the yellow and do a few of the plain yellow. And then I will do the yellow back onto the blue. So then we get those yellowish green dots. And we'll fade all the way back to our original blue. And it just adds a little bit more color to it, which is fun. I didn't do the blending with the dots on the original one, and I have to say, I really like that. Once you've got all the dots down, you can kind of come back through and say, yeah, I need a little bit, I want a little bit more yellow over here. You could even have the dots coincide, and you could have really done green and have your dots fade with your colors if you really wanted to. That would take a little bit more thinking, and there we go. Bring it up close. So see, you can see that we have all the different colored dots in there, the greens, the pinks, purples, all of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I will take a picture. I will dot this one once that K is completely dry. It looks pretty close, but you don't need to see that twice. So hopefully this angle worked well for you guys to see as far as the writing as well, because I know sometimes my pen gets in the way from you guys being able to see. So everybody have a wonderful day. We'll be back next week with another rock painting tutorial for you. Bye-bye.